I admit that I have a hard time trusting people, and I also struggle with feelings of insecurity. It's taken me a long time to learn to trust her. We've been connected on social media for years, so she knew about my past traumas and the things that trigger my anxiety. Second thing that happened was that I confided in a friend about a fight I had with my girlfriend, and I called her a name I shouldn't have used. Unfortunately, my girlfriend overheard it through my car's Bluetooth system and got really upset with me. She felt I shouldn't have shared our relationship issues with someone else before talking to her about it first. Another time, my girlfriend shared a personal and embarrassing story about my past relationship with our friends right in front of me. We were discussing what we would do if our partner's ex was stalking them, and my girlfriend brought up a story about my ex telling me to cook for myself after a long, tiring shift at work. It had nothing to do with the conversation, and I felt uncomfortable sharing that moment with our friends. She later apologized, saying she had been drinking and tends to share more than she should when she's under the influence. Some people think I'm being too harsh on my girlfriend, but I don't think that's fair. I'm not using offensive language or attacking her character. I'm just sharing both sides of the story and being honest about what's happened. Plus, I'm not gossiping about her to people she knows she doesn't have to face the embarrassment of knowing that our personal business is being discussed behind her back. My main concern is that she shares too much of our personal life with others, and that's not. I'm a private person who's taken time to open up to my girlfriend. I share personal things with her, but don't want others to know. That's why I'm upset. My girlfriend's not a bad person. We just disagree on this. I'm not looking to escalate things, just want understanding. Story 2. I'm a 36M, and my girlfriend, who's 32, has been talking about me nonstop to others for a year and a half now. She says she's just venting, but I think it's plain gossiping. I've told my girlfriend many times that I don't like it when people talk about me behind my back, especially if it's negative. We had a barbecue on Memorial Day with her best friend, Kate 40, and Kate's husband, Jared 43. Just before that weekend, something frustrating happened. My car was repossessed by mistake. I had made a payment arrangement, but it wasn't processed in time. So my car ended up on the repossession list 2 days before my scheduled payment was due. That Memorial Day, during our barbecue, Jared suddenly said to me, "Man, I heard you were really upset when they took your car." I was shocked. I hadn't spoken to Jared in weeks, so I wondered how he knew about it. Then it hit me my girlfriend must have told Kate, and Kate told Jared. I confronted my girlfriend about it, and she claimed she was just venting about her morning, and it slipped out she had driven me to the dealership the next morning to get my car back. Before we went to retrieve my car, I made sure my girlfriend heard the account manager admit to her mistake, so she knew it wasn't my fault. I explained to her how I feel when people talk about me behind my back, especially when they claim to care about me. We argued about it because she didn't think she was talking about me behind my back, even though she shared the story with her friend Kate. Now, here's the real issue. Just a few days after we talked things through and thought we'd resolved the problem, something else happened. I started feeling unwell at work, struggling to breathe. I don't have any pre-existing medical conditions, and I work in a hot environment in the South, which is a big change for me since I'm originally from the North. I told my boss I wasn't feeling well, and apparently used a word that's a kind of alert for medical professionals. This is my first job in the medical field, so I wasn't aware of that. So, they wouldn't let me leave work without someone else driving me, either an ambulance or someone I chose. Since I don't know anyone here besides my girlfriend and her mom, I called my girlfriend to come get me. She had to pay the copay for me, which I promised to pay her back for on payday. I had already made arrangements to pay the $50 for my car on payday too. Anyway, while I was being checked out, she seemed really annoyed with me, which made me feel even worse. So I ended up being short with the nurse who suggested I should go to the ER, which would mean more money and needing my girlfriend's help again. Later that night, I made a mistake and eavesdropped on my girlfriend's conversation with her best friend through our camera system, something I'd never done before and won't do again. I heard her talking negatively about me, saying I should have just walked it off and that I'm not a real one. She also mentioned disliking my personality and my rudeness, and even said that I'll get hurt one day because of the way I act when I'm usually a fun-loving person. But I have a mean streak if you push me too far. I listened for a few moments before speaking through the camera system and lashing out at both of them. My problem with Kate is that she calls me her brother, but instead of having my back, she's talking behind my back. I feel like anyone who truly cares about me should support me, not participate in gossip. My girlfriend again dismissed it as venting and didn't understand why I felt betrayed. We had a big argument and she only apologized for how I felt, not for what she did. Honestly, I'm finding it hard to move past this. It's changed the way I see her completely. I feel like I need to protect myself from her gossip. I can't trust her to keep my personal business private. She's already shown me that she'll share it with her friend and her mom. It seems like anything that happens to me, she'll be annoyed and feel the need to blab about it to someone. I don't feel safe sharing my secrets with her anymore. I feel like I'm walking on eggshells around her and her family. They're all smiling at me, but I know they're talking behind my back. It's like they're waiting for me to slip up so they can pounce on it and gossip some more. Am I the asshole in this situation? Am I overthinking or overreacting? My girlfriend thinks it's just harmless venting and that it's normal. But my intuition is telling me something different. It doesn't feel right in my gut. I want to be able to admit if I'm wrong, so I'm seeking some honest, unbiased opinions and thoughts. Can you help me out? Story 3. What should I do? I've been in a relationship with my boyfriend for 10 months now. I'm 37 and he's 35. My past is marked by trauma, including mental and physical abuse. My boyfriend has been through a tough time too. He was previously married, but recently divorced. His ex-wife is a challenging person who constantly messages him, tries to manipulate him, and even attempts to sabotage his relationship with their children. Despite all this, my boyfriend is a kind and caring partner, and I feel grateful to have him in my life. I've been in a relationship with my boyfriend for 10 months now. I'm 37 and he's 35. My past is marked by painful experiences, including mental and physical abuse. My boyfriend has also been through a difficult time. Having been married and recently divorced, his ex-wife is a challenging person who constantly contacts him, tries to manipulate him, and even attempts to damage his relationship with their children. Her behavior is stressful and upsetting for both of us. Lately, my boyfriend has been really struggling to find happiness. He often says things like, "I'll just come home, pack my bags, and leave." It's like he feels overwhelmed and hopeless, like he's had enough of all the stress and drama. I can sense the frustration and desperation in his voice, and it breaks my heart to see him like this. I'm at a loss for what to do. This isn't the first time he's threatened to leave me, and unfortunately, he's followed through on those threats before. He's walked out on me a few times in the past, and it's always left me feeling devastated and unsure of our future together. I want to support him through this tough time, but I also need to protect my own heart and well-being. I'm not sure how much more of this I can take.